Anthem Church. I'm here with Pastor Brad, and this is Behind the Message. Pastor Brad, we're about to start our new series, Jesus Is. So tell me a little bit about the heart behind this series. What should we expect to get out of it?
Well, super excited for the series Jesus Is, because I can't think of anything more important for us to study here in the middle of the summer than who Jesus is.
Yes.
I mean, we could talk about so many things, and we've been on a great track talking about a lot of different subjects, but to come back to home base,
yes.
Who is Jesus and what does that mean for my life? I think it's the most important thing we can talk about.
Yeah.
And so excited for the journey that we're beginning in this series.
So you said what it means for our lives. So what has that topic in particular meant for your life? It's a big topic, but what does that mean to you?
Well, I think one of the things I learned about as I began to study the Bible and read for myself, sometimes we think the Bible is so much about just do's and don'ts, and there are do's and don'ts in the Bible, things that are good and wrong for us to do. But ultimately, the Bible is about something bigger than me. It's really not even about me. It's ultimately about who God is. And I remember reading a book on the attributes of God by Tozer, and I just remember realizing that so much of Scripture is ultimately about who God is. It's not ultimately about who I am. I mean, in a sense, I learned who I am just by who He is.
Yeah.
And so starting in the right place leads me to the right conclusion. And so I think that's why these topics are so important. Jesus, who are you? And therefore, who am I? Who are you? And therefore, how should I live as a result?
Man, that's good. So what's your hope for all of us when we walk away from this series? What do you hope that we walk away with?
Well, I think the Bible tells us to fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. As I fix my eyes on Jesus, it helps me to see rightly the world around me, to think about what I should be thinking about, what I shouldn't be thinking about, what's important and what's not important, to give perspective. And so I think focusing on Jesus for several weeks here in the middle of the summer, in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of everything happening in the world around us, helps us to go back to the author and perfecter of our faith and fix our eyes on Him, because we need to have our eyes fixed ultimately on Him. And I know one of the things we're going to do during this series is we're going to encourage people to read through the book of John.
So good.
Take a chapter a day through the book of John together. So excited for our journey in that. That's going to help ground us in the person and the story of Jesus so that we get it deep in our soul during this season.
Man, I am so excited for this series. Jesus Is. You heard it here. You don't want to miss it. So join us at Church at Home, Church on the Lawn, or church here in the building at Anthem. Maybe you could cut that or something.
That was awesome. That'll be the fun part. I think you're like, I don't know.
Church at Home, Church on the Lawn, and Church in
Church
the
on the
building.
Lawn is what gets you.
It gets me every time. I'm going to stop trying to say it.